join us today in sunny Stratford-upon-Avon at the home of our good friends String Theory. Now these guys are specialists in setting up suspension, all sorts of work, and they're specialising on the Yaris GR, so obvious place for us to come. We've got some suspension work to do today on the car, so it'll be lowered slightly, so we'll see some after effects of that later. And also some brakes, because it's in dire need of some new brakes. Pads are very low, the discs are a bit warped after our track day. So yeah, we've got some goodies to put on, so join us for that later.
Hello, Nathan from ITG.
Hello, Ben from String Theory. Could you walk me through what we've got on the table, please?
So we've got some standard suspension, which you can identify because it's brown.
And
and then you've got your new Bilsteins. What kit's this?
This is the B16 kit from our friends at Bilstein.
Okay, so B16 kit's a new one to me because I remember before there was a bespoke Bilstein kit that we couldn't get in the UK and stuff. So this must be quite a new kit, is it?
I shall ask Craig, but yeah, I believe it is. Cool. So how does this differ from the OE suspension then?
Well, let's go with what keeps it the same as the OE suspension first, because that's interesting about this. So you've got, it looks to me, I don't know what the spring rates are on this, but it looks like it has got a progressive wound spring so that you can lower the car without having to go to like wacky spring rates and stuff, both in the front and the rear. I imagine the spring rates probably aren't that far off a standard car, they're probably a bit stiffer. Normally a Bilstein kit like this would be a more roady type setup. Is that what Craig's told you?
Yeah, that was the
Craig is the man from Bilstein, by the way.
Yeah, that was the hope. Yeah.
And what makes it different is it's ride height adjustable.
Yeah.
And the damping is one way adjustable, so it's very simple, stiffer and softer.
Okay.
And I would guess from the numbering on it that it has 10 clicks and it tells you soft and hard. So that's all fairly user friendly.
And where would I use that? Where would that come into play? So if we decided to track it.
You know what? Honestly, if it's a well set up product, you'll probably find that you'll set it to your preference of how the car rides more than anything, and that's just how you'll drive it.
Okay.
If you might find that if you end up with 2 sets of wheels and 2 sets of tyres and you want to take it on a track day and you find it a bit soft, that you adjust it. But more often than not, you end up setting it to your preference and then just driving it. And that's the nice thing about a one-way adjustable damper, that it's simple. You know, you don't have to understand, you don't have to have a degree in suspension dynamics. Really,
can't all be you, can we, Ben?
I mean, I get lost with multiple adjustable things.
I think that's it. Shall we get it on the car? You ready?
Cool. Yep.
We've got Nick from Tarox, who has very kindly brought us down some brakes for our Yaris. Nice to see you, Nick. You all right?
I'm good, Nathan. How are you?
Good, mate. Very good. So, what have you brought us down today?
Today, I brought down the 2-piece front discs for the Yaris GR and our high-performance Corsa compound brake pads for the front. These are our sort of mid-level pad. They sit right in the middle of the range.
Yeah.
Higher than the normal street pad, our Strada, but not as aggressive as the Enduro racing pad. The great thing about these pads is they are sort of right at the top of road use, but they're still ECR 90 approved. So all in line with the original equipment manufacturing, no voiding insurance, not one of those pads that says track day use, track day use only. So a really sort of great compromise of the best of both worlds. Good on a track day, but they work from cold, so they're not going to give you any dramas.
So fast road driving, obviously, you know, within legal limits.
Yep.
And then the odd occasional track day, which obviously we do with the Yaris.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect for that use,
Yeah,
definitely. And then onto the discs, we have our two-piece bespoke disc. As you can see, it's got a bell and rotor combination. This has a semi-floating setup, which basically means the disc and the bell are allowed to move slightly independently of each other under extreme heat. So there's a bobbin inside and there's some float in the disc, and that just means if you do start really pushing on with the discs, there can be some thermal expansion, and if they're let to cool down after you've done a few laps, they'll just go back into shape, good to go straight again.
Perfect.
And one of the great advantages of the two-piece discs, especially ours, is there's some weight saving. If you give them just even a little lift, there's enough weight in the two to see that there's already.
Yeah.
And even though the Toyota disc is a fairly high quality disc, it is a compound disc. It's made of two different types of metal, but one of the great things you can see here is we've created larger cooling vanes, directional, so they're handed vanes, which really improves air circulation out of the disc when the disc is spinning. These have our anti-rust treatment, which is a really sort of hard acrylic coating that goes inside the vanes on all the bits that don't touch the brake pad, just to keep them looking good over time.
For longer.
Yeah, if you look at these now, they're looking, you know, they've got a lot of rust build up inside, and our anti-rust treatment won't go like that. It will stay really. It's what all the OE companies use on chassis leg components and things like that. So super durable. And they've got another advantage of the two-piece disc compared to the OE disc is when you do eventually wear these out, you can unbolt the discs from the bells, and we'll send you replacement discs that attach to the bells with new hardware.
So essentially that's your consumable, that'll
stay. Yeah, exactly. So the retail price of these is £1,135 for a pair.
And how does that compare with the Toyota?
So I think the prices vary, but it's either on par or a little bit cheaper than Toyota. Right. But then when you take into account
the benefits,
you're normally a couple of £100 cheaper again when you want to get replacement rotors.
Right,
so a big advantage there. So you've got the weight saving, the durability, and what's quite interesting about our disc and the Toyota disc is they're both a groove disc, so it kind of feels a little bit OEM as well. You're not going for we've been making the F2000 for 26 years now, and it's nice to see some of the OE manufacturers adopting this long curved groove style, because it's a really good balance of heat dissipation and strength and durability. Drilled holes can sometimes crack under extreme use. As good as they are at dissipating heat, there are some disadvantages.
And they fill with, you know, you have to clean them out.
They do, to keep performing. They need to. So they're the key differences between the set. The pads, £235 inclusive of VAT for a set of pads, but I think they'll last you a good amount of time doing track and road.
Can't wait to try them out. One question I do have.
Yes.
Bedding in process for this?
Yeah, so it's fairly industry standard. Nothing, because the pads are still within the road category. You don't have to do anything that's a racing pad tends to bed in differently. It needs aggressive use, whereas we like to say take it steady for the first few hundred miles. You can brake harshly, that's no problem. What you don't want to do is excessive heat build-up. So 60 miles an hour to 30 miles an hour and carry on moving, because you're letting the air still circulate. So when you go to a dead stop, you always there's always the possibility that you can weld the brake pads to the disc as they are bedding in. So, and that will create problems later on down the line. So a good bedding in procedure is nice strong braking while still moving. Give or take 350 to 500 miles. The best way we advise our customers is we say, you can see here the disc is really shiny at the moment. Keep an eye on the disc. You'll start to see a thin black line develop here. That's the first part of contact of the brake pad. And then as the brake pad wears down, you'll start to see the contact patch going up from top to bottom.
Yeah.
And that means that the whole of the brake pad is touching the whole of the brake disc.
Yeah.
And that means that you've got a full heat sink. What can happen and when you go too hard on them too fast, the brake pad isn't fully contacting. So the heat is focused in one part of the brake pad and one part of the brake disc, and that can lead to uneven wear, uneven heat spots, things like that. So bedding in is key. Once you've done a good bedding in process, keep an eye out. You've got nice big open wheels on these cars, so you can easily see in. Once you can see that the whole disc has lost its shine and it's all darkened down, take it to the track and give it some welling.
Have some fun. Right,
yeah,
we'll do
absolutely.
That. Okay, perfect. Thanks again for coming down today,
no way,
Nick.
great stuff.
Really appreciate
Good to
your
see
time.
you.
Right,
Thanks.
So we're a few weeks and a few hundred miles since the mods were fitted at String Theory. I've got to say the B16s have transformed what is already a great chassis on these Yaris GR, to be fair. The roll has almost been limited. These do roll a little bit. I found that quite a lot when I first got the car. And I think just the transition between the power, delivery, front to rear is just superb. The poise the car seems to have on the road now is phenomenal. And actually ride comfort is still really good. It seems to soak up some bumps better than others, so I was a bit worried about that, but they've nailed the brief there, I think, Bilstein. So thanks to Craig and the guys there for that. Also, big thanks to Ben at String Theory and the guys there for setting the car up because it feels phenomenal. Got to thank Nick from Tarox for the brakes. They're bedding in really nicely. I think I've still got a bit to go on the brakes, bedding in wise, but that's probably on me. Guys at Eibach, because the stance is now nailed with those spacers. That looks great. And obviously it sounds great thanks to the Milltek exhaust we've got. So again, a big thanks to those guys. So all in all, the project's come along really, really far now, and I think we're quite happy. We'll get it on track. I think that'll be the next thing to do with it, because that'll be really good to see how all this comes together. Maybe some wheels, some other touches along the line, but stay tuned. Next episode will be along soon, hopefully.